Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week, this is for mid-December 2024. You have this Chaos and Conflict card and this Chop Wood card. So some of you could be experiencing conflict. A lot of people have had cards of conflict at the end of the year. Now, here's the thing. Is that I would avoid conflict at all costs. You know, we have Mars retrograde in Leo. Mars retrogrades are always a terrible time for conflicts, and they also are really bad if you take part in the conflict. So conflict, I believe is a choice, and you can just avoid it altogether, and that's exactly what I would do if I were you, Leo. I mean, again, Aries. What did I call you at the beginning of this reading? I don't know. Hopefully I didn't call you Leo at the beginning of this reading, but Aries, I would definitely avoid conflict at all cost with this energy because, you always lose during Mars retrogrades, both people. So, if this is involving people, this could be a conflict that you're dealing with something else. But, if it's a person or a group of people, I would just avoid it at all costs. Just how you enter into this reading, we're doing a Celtic cross here. Aries, you have the King of Swords. The King of Swords is pretty good. I kind of just feel like it's saying that you've learned a lot over the years, and some of you could just literally be thinking about all the things that you've learned, like all the lessons, all the challenges, and he's the card of like knowledge and wisdom. He's gained a lot of knowledge and wisdom through his journey, and I think using that knowledge and wisdom, of course, could be extremely beneficial for you at this time. I feel like you've made a decision that you need to make. I know that sounds stupid, what I just said, but it's like you've made a decision. You know you're going to make a decision. You know you're going to do something. Now I think you have to do it. You have the Eight of Swords in the area of your thoughts. You have the King of Wands as your crossing energy. The crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you in the Celtic cross. And the King of Wands can say it's time, crossing, it can say that you need to take action, but you're not. So, I think that some of you have made up your mind about something, whether you realize it or not. It's like something that you are going to do anyway, is what I feel like saying. It's like sometimes I think we want to do things and we're like, oh, do I do this? Do I not do this? But, it's like maybe in the back of our mind, we know that we're going to do it, but we still delay doing whatever the action is. And so I kind of feel this is saying it's like time to take action. You know you're going to do something. I think it's funny that we go from the Eight of Swords down to the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is expansion. We have the Queen of Wands. Again, she also is a card of taking action. So it just seems to me like you're just going to do something that you've been thinking about anyway. I don't know if that actually helps as advice, but there you go. These two are also divine counterparts, so not really a love reading, but if you want love, there could be love coming in for you. You have the Eight of Swords in the area of your thoughts. The Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction. It's like only seeing one way of doing things when there are many ways to do things, Aries. So I think for a lot of you, the Eight of Swords is saying you need to set yourself free. You need to, let yourself remove yourself from anything that is keeping you stuck. This is the area of your thoughts or what's on your mind. So it's kind of like saying that your mind might be feeling stuck or your mind might be feeling like it's trapped. And I feel that your solution is this Chop Wood card, like just get to work, right? So that's what I think for you is like you just have to get started. It just in general, I get this question a lot. Every single weekend I teach classes about YouTube for myself and for other people, and like the number one question I get is like I'm afraid to start publishing my videos, but it's like, how do I get started? I'm like, well, you just have to do it. There is no good answer, right, to getting started. The answer is we just have to start. And so I think for a lot of you, this is saying that if you're thinking about starting something or if you're feeling stuck, you just have to take those first few steps. Again, life has taught me that you're just never going to feel ready for anything. I never feel ready for anything. And really, it isn't until I've taken like 10 steps into something that I feel ready for it, right? So I feel that that's what this is saying. It's like you have to take those first 10 steps. In the area of your foundation, you have the Four of Cups. I do feel it's kind of funny because like you and Pisces seem to have this fear that you're not going to receive or ever have something that you're hoping to have in life, and it literally could be anything. Like maybe you want to raise chickens but you live in the city and you're like, how the hell am I ever going to have chickens, right? But maybe it's a dream of yours. I kind of feel that energy for you where it's like you're thinking that you're just going to be disappointed. And I don't think that's true at all, Aries. I think that, the Four Cups is saying, well, actually there is an opportunity for you to have that chicken farm that you want, but you just have to reach out and grab it. He's tried to do something 3 times, and now he has this new cup right here, but he's afraid to accept that cup into his life because he's afraid of being disappointed again. But really, the card itself says that each one of these cups contains an ingredient for success. Maybe it contains a lesson, or with the King of Swords here, it contains some knowledge and wisdom that you can use to make this other cup right here work out. So, I think you need to realize that something is not going to be a disappointment, but you're still going to have to put the work in. Next, in the area of the past, you have this patience card. Oh, your favorite word, Aries, right? Patience. You have this healing moon. It says seek healing on it. Every single person has had something about healing, and you end with the Empress, which is, the card of self-care. So I think it would be an amazing time for healing. Retrograde times are always just a great time to heal, rest, relax, recover, all that other good stuff. So I think healing would be amazing for you. I think you're done being patient. You have the Five of Pentacles in the past. Five of Pentacles is feeling left out in the cold. So the past position represents the energy that you are moving past. And, again, this would be a good thing because it would say that you are moving past feeling left out in the cold. And you could be leaving that energy behind. So I feel for a lot of you that you could be leaving this left out in the cold energy behind. I also feel that if you have needed resources, like if you need money or time or energy or effort to be able to accomplish something, that the Five of Pentacles could say that you're finally getting like the energy, the time, the effort, the money, whatever it is that you need. Next, in the area of your very near future, you have this Unfolding Beauty card. It says, everything is unfolding as it should. Surrender and live in the unexpected. You have this Sagittarius card. It says expansion. It says you're ready to expand and move forward to your next lucky break. Yes. And we have Mercury today. Today is December 15th. This video will be released on the 16th, but, on the 15th, Mercury goes direct in Sagittarius. So, people literally could be feeling more expansive. People could have more expansive ideas, or could be coming up with more expansive solutions, or could be thinking about traveling or moving, or, anything long distance. So, again, I think there is literally expansion coming in for you, or a lucky break. You have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want. I think the important thing with the Queen of Wands is that she has to learn as she goes. So she has no clue where she is going in life, or like if she can even accomplish her goal. Her goal is this sunflower right here. The sunflower points towards the sun. So she just wants to, she's using that sunflower as her guide. It is pointing towards, the sun, which could be like love, joy, happiness, peace, all of those good feelings. But the thing about the Queen of Wands is that unlike the King of Wands, she has no salamanders on her cloak. And salamanders represent protection from fire, which represents basically protection from risk. And so with the Queen of Wands, she's not necessarily protected from risk, and she also doesn't know what she's about to do. She just has to learn as she goes. So I think a lot of you, if you're like working on any new ideas or new directions, that the Queen of Wands is saying, just take those first 10 steps. Like I said, just commit to 10 and see what happens, right? And I think you'll be much more successful. Next, in the area of your outcome row, you have this card that says the end of a tough cycle approaches, which is great. You have this full moon in Sagittarius. It says look at the big picture. So definitely, I think, probably because you're a fire sign, Aries, you could definitely be really feeling Mercury going direct. You could be feeling a lot better, a lot more clear. You could be feeling like you have a direction or something like that as well. So I feel pretty good about this for you. And yeah, I feel like you just feel much better. You have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands wants you to look at the big picture. Three of Wands is coming up, by the way, in the area of the next few months. So the reason we have to look at the big picture with the Three of Wands is because the story of the Three of Wands is that when he first looks at that water, the water is golden in color. So when he first looks out onto the horizon, he thinks that he's looking at the desert. But when he looks closer, he sees those boats and he realizes that there's an opportunity. So nothing grows in the desert, right? But again, if you look closer, there's an opportunity. I always think of the Three of Wands telling people to look closer at something where maybe you don't think there's an opportunity in something, but really there's a massive opportunity, but you just have to look closer. And so I think you have to look at the big picture with any opportunities that come your way. The Three of Wands also is like a card that says variety is the spice of life, right? We have to get on those boats and we have to explore the world. He's standing where he has always been, this guy right here, but if he gets on those boats, he doesn't really, just like the Queen of Wands, he doesn't really know where those boats are going, but they're taking him somewhere where he can expand his horizons, where he can look at the big picture, where he can find other things to do with his life, or he can find new directions, and I would definitely encourage that with this card. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Four of Pentacles. I feel just like average about this in your reading. I just feel kind of meh about it, right? So I don't know. Could just say that you're just maintaining the status quo in all your relationships. Not just love. Like I said, this is all relationships. So I don't think this is bad or good. I think you're, really, I just feel the Four of Pentacles is saying you're kind of just like holding on to what you have in relationships, and I don't really feel that it's a bad thing either. I'm not the biggest fan of the Four of Pentacles, but, again, in this situation, just like the energy I feel off the card, I feel that it is fine what you're doing. Next, in your future feelings, you have another card that would kind of say, look at the big picture, right? He is gaining a new perspective. And so with the Hangman, which is coming up in the area of your future feelings, we have to gain a new perspective so that we can find other ways of doing things. And again, you have the Eight of Swords in the area of your thoughts, which it kind of says you're only looking at one way to do things when there are many. So the Hangman encourages you to look at all the angles that exist in anything that you're thinking about. I really do believe we're in a time where for everyone, there is probably a better way for all of us to do everything that we're doing. We have Pluto and Aquarius. I believe we're going to see a lot of what I call, third place solutions during Pluto and Aquarius, which are, everybody thinks like this or that to every single problem that exists. But really, there's probably somewhere else, like a third place solution, something totally different that no one's ever thought of before that could solve a problem. And so the Hangman is a great card for, finding those third place solutions in your own life. Just look at things differently, or, gain new perspectives with the Three of Wands, right? You can go on an adventure. You can learn from new people. You can learn from different people about, your business, your job, your love life, and you can just try new things that are a new perspective, and you never know. It could lead to your outcome, which is the Empress. The Empress is, total abundance, total success. I kind of feel a little bit of glow-up energy for you here, Aries. I'm not going to call this a glow-up reading unless we get like the sun and the star in the clarification. But, it's kind of giving me those vibes of you starting to feel more confident, like more bold. And, when we do that, we stand out a little bit more, which could technically, kind of lead to a little bit of a glow-up. And so I feel that energy of like, I don't really feel traditional Empress energy here. I feel more like confidence, which I don't think we necessarily think of the the Empress as being confident, but again, I read intuitively. That's the energy I'm getting off of the Empress. Also, self-care. You have this healing card, so self-care, taking care of yourself, all that is going to be very important. With the King of Swords and the King of Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is amazing. This could say that your fortunes are turning in your favor, or, you have this card that said, this other Sagittarius card that says, move forward to your next lucky break. And the Wheel of Fortune can definitely represent a lucky break, or, it can represent luck in general. And so I would be doubling down on the good stuff, as I always say, with the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is pretty easy to work with. Anytime we have a challenge, we should take care of it very quickly and not let it turn into something worse. And whenever something good happens, we should double down on it and expand the energy and get more out of it. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Four of Cups, which we have twice right here. So definitely getting a little bit of stuck energy, like with an opportunity that could be presenting itself to you. Because again, this cloud is, has this hand that's reaching out with this cup, which is kind of like reaching out with a new opportunity. But he's not accepting the opportunity because he's afraid of what happened in the past, with those three cups. So I feel for a lot of you that there could be an opportunity that you need to accept in your life. Yeah, with the Four of Cups, you have the Queen of Wands. It's crazy to me that you have these repeating cards like this already, because I always say, like, repeating cards don't really happen that often in readings. But lately, a couple of signs have been getting repeating cards like crazy. And repeating cards are basically confirmation for your path. They kind of say that you're going in the right direction, you're doing the right things that you need to do at this time. And the Queen of Wands is, about moving forward, like I said, in a new direction without knowing how something is going to work out. And, we both diagonals here, we hit the Queen of Wands. So it's clear to me that you could be afraid of an opportunity that's coming in for you because you're not sure how it's going to turn out. But I think the answer is the Three of Wands. You need to look closer. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Three of Cups. Yeah, some of you, again, it's like I said, I think you're maintaining the status quo in your connections. Three of Cups is your community and all the people around you. And the Five of Pentacles could say, I definitely feel like most fire signs that you've had issues over the past, maybe since like 2016 with people, or maybe I think fire signs in particular have experienced like harder lessons when working with people or dealing with people since that time. Luckily, that energy is clearing up. But it probably taught you a lot of lessons. Like, if you tried to work with people, maybe you got stabbed in the back, or, maybe people weren't pulling their weight if you worked together with them on a project. Like those types of problems are what I think fire signs have dealt with. And again, I think right now you're maintaining the status quo in your relationships. But I do feel in the future you probably will open up to teamwork again. So, like I said, not necessarily a bad thing. And you're probably healing it as well. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is about walking away from things that no longer serve you. So I do feel that some of you could just be walking away from things that no longer serve you. Just like the Queen of Wands, this guy here on the Eight of Cups, he has no clue what he is walking towards. He just knows that these 8 cups can't fulfill him, so he is choosing to walk away from something that isn't right. And he's choosing to walk into darkness, and he is just hoping that things will improve, or he is just hoping that things will get better. But again, he doesn't know that. He just knows that he shouldn't be in something that isn't right. So some of you could be walking away from anything that isn't right. With the Three of Wands, you have the King of Cups. King of Cups is a good card for following your emotions. He is sitting in the middle of the ocean, and the card itself says that he has very deep emotions, and he uses his emotions to kind of like guide him. He also has this boat here, and the boat on the King of Cups represents something very specific. It represents a time where our ancestors would like get on boats and they wouldn't know where they were going. So, it's kind of like another sign in your reading that you are clearly stepping into the unknown. Queen of Wands, Three of Wands for sure. This card, it looks to me like you're about to go on an adventure and do something that you've never done before. And again, that would be a good thing. I think, it'll teach you a lot. With the Four of Pentacles, yes, you have the Three of Swords. Like I said, I think you're maintaining the status quo in connections. The Three of Swords can be healing. A lot of people have had the Three of Swords this month, and like I said, with all the retrogrades, it makes perfect sense to me that people could be, thinking about the past or trying to forgive the past. And, the secret with the Three of Swords is that those swords are in your own heart. So you have to remove those swords from your heart so that you can heal. And we have to practice forgiveness, basically. We don't have to forgive a person directly. We just have to forgive them in our heart, and then we will be set free. With the Hangman, you have the Tower. I actually feel pretty good about this Tower, especially with the Hangman, because this could represent like a sudden insight or, a sudden revelation or a sudden idea that pops into your head, especially with that Hangman. So again, if you have any sudden insights or sudden inspirations or any like ideas that come out of nowhere, I think those are the ideas that you need to move towards. There's this lightning bolt right here, and it kind of represents like a light bulb moment, or kind of like that aha moment in your life. And really that's the feeling I get here with that Hangman, is that you could be having like a sudden aha moment, and it could cause a Tower. Again, I like to say that, number one, the Tower isn't that bad of a card. I think the Tower gets a bad rap. Number two, the Tower is very necessary. It brings us down to reality. So people love to tell me how bad the Tower is. I'm like, okay, stay in the Tower, ignore reality, and then come back to me and tell me how great your life is when you've been ignoring reality, right? It's not bad or good. It just is. And third, the Tower is not a bad card. It can just represent a light bulb moment, a good thing happening. So there you go. Here you go. With the Empress, you have the Two of Wands. I knew the Two of Wands was going to come up. It's very similar to the Three of Wands. Again, he needs to get out into the world. He needs to go do something different. The reading itself is definitely encouraging you to enter into a new reality, which can cause a Tower moment. But again, that doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's like we can choose to do things that are hard, that maybe cause a Tower moment, where we have to enter into a new reality, and maybe we have to like learn something new. I always tell people, it's like, thank God we have the Tower, because if we didn't, we would all be wearing diapers, shitting our pants all day. So it's like, again, a new reality can be uncomfortable, but it's for the best. It's like, I'm sure you don't want to be changing your own diapers, right? So again, like I said, I think you're entering into a new reality, and maybe there are things you have to learn. Maybe there are new ideas that you have to accept or whatever, but obviously it would be a good thing here, Aries. So let's see. You have the Lost card. This is Saturn and Pisces. We have Saturn and Pisces right now. Again, with the Five of Pentacles in your past, I definitely think some of you, and the Three of Swords also in your closest relationships, you could be thinking about a past connection or a past situation. Doesn't have to be love. Could be a friendship or something like that you lost. And, you could just be thinking about how you lost something. But again, I think you're doing this to heal. You have this practicality card. Keep it simple. I think a lot of people need to do this right now. Like, just, stick to the basics. Keep things simple. Simple answer is the answer, and you'll be fine. You have this Lust card. Not really a love reading, but there is a little bit of love here. King of Wands, Queen of Wands. They would be a very lusty connection. So if you're attracting a connection, it could be very hot and heavy. I'll put it that way. Let's see. Next, you have this Authority card. I think you need to, with the Empress, again, not really a glow-up reading, but, it's like a pre-glow-up reading is what I would say. And, this could be you becoming like an authority figure, or there could be an amazing opportunity for you to stand out as an authority, especially if you have a business or in your career, or if you're like trying to build a social media or something like that. Again, if you want to be seen as being an authority, I would definitely put the work in to make it happen. You have this Fortune card as well, the Sun, right? Queen of Wands twice. You have to move towards the sun. That's where your fortunes are. So, I think a lot of you, this reading is kind of trying to teach you how to find your fortunes, right? And that's what the reading is about. It's saying you need to step into the unknown. You need to go on this adventure. You need to expand and look at something more closely, because that's where your fortunes exist. But very interesting reading here, Aries. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.